Ginger. Hey, Ginger, it's Jay. Hey.
The music documentary Beware of Mr. Baker tells the story of how American writer and director Jay Bulger travelled to South Africa to meet the legendary British drummer Ginger Baker, who first made a name for himself in the 1960s. Bulger was obsessed with Baker and was convinced his story needed to be told.
Mr. Baker, nice to finally meet you.
I just wanted to do something. I don't know if it was a doc or an article. I just wanted to talk to him. I wanted to do a film. I mean, a feature film. I had a million ideas.
Are you all right?
I called him, and the first thing that came to mind was to tell him that I write for Rolling Stone, which wasn't true at the time. But, you know, I eventually did write it for Rolling Stone, so it kind of worked out. But I called him, and he was I don't know, hard of hearing. I think all the drumming had made his telephone hearing less than perfect. So eventually he's just like, "Oh, hell, just come here." And he hung up on me. And I was like, "Come to South Africa." Okay, so I borrowed all this money and I just kind of showed up unannounced of sorts at this door and was like, "I'm here."
Ginger Baker really came to be known through the supergroup Cream, whose first album was released in 1966. As a drummer, he was in a class of his own. He saw himself more as a jazz drummer than rock musician. His Cream bandmates were music legends Jack Bruce and Eric Clapton, who were both interviewed in the documentary.
But he had the gift, he had the spark, the flair, the panache.
Baker, while talented, doesn't come across as easygoing. The film shows an altercation when the director left South Africa after spending time with the drummer.
What? Oh.
When he broke my nose with a cane on my last day of filming, I thought, okay, that was really interesting, and it was action-worthy, and it was bombastic, and just this, I don't know, it was this moment that I felt was worthy of exploring. I think, as you see in the movie, he has real trouble having ongoing friendships with friends, family, musicians that he's played with. I think he's the ultimate bridge burner.
But the director has formed a friendship with Ginger Baker, and many of the drummer's comrades in the music business do stand by him, or rather, accept him for how he is.
God bless him. May the road rise. He helped me rise my road. Love you, Ginger. Johnny Rotten.
What Jay Bulger has put together is a very honest picture of the 73-year-old musician. It's a film that Ginger Baker has seen.
I knew that was going to be difficult for him to watch, and when he watched the movie, he said the first half was pretty good, the second half, not so much.
He's moved around the world, getting thrown out of every country.
He's a rogue, he's a lovable rogue.
Do you see him ultimately as an inspirational figure?
You can't leave the movie judging him, as good or bad. He's a complicated man. There's good aspects, there's negative aspects, and such as his music, like it's very complicated, polyrhythmic expression of himself.
This is a film that relies on a rich selection of interviewees and some strong archival footage to create a truly engaging music documentary. You have the sense that you know Ginger Baker after watching this film, but you're also left with the feeling that you better have your wits about you were you ever to meet him.
If they got a problem with me, come and sue me and punch me on the nose. I ain't going to sue you, I'm going to hit you back.